want you to think about all the problems that you have in your life. For a second, just think about what are the challenges? What are the problems that you have? I mean, is it a relationship problem? Do you wish you could be a better dad to your children? Is it a marriage problem? Is it a financial problem? Maybe it's a problem with where you live or the weather. I want you to know that every problem you have can fall into one of three categories. So let's talk about it. Category number one. These are problems that you have total control over, like 100% control. These problems have to do with you, with your attitude, with your behaviors, with your choices. Okay? So for example, let me give you an example. If I am getting speeding tickets all the time, it's only me who chooses to put my pedal to the metal, and I can actually decide not to put the pedal to the metal and stop getting speeding tickets. That's my behavior, my choice that's causing that problem. Category one, you have 100% control over. Category two are problems you don't have total control over. These are problems like other people's choices, other people's attitudes, other people's behaviors. In other words, relationships. So, some people think they control other people, but the truth is we can't control other people. We can't control our children completely. We can't control our spouse. We can't control our business. But we do have some things that we could do that will increase influence with us. Okay, so some people think that you can control other people like you would a car. Just put it in the right gear and push the pedal at the right time, and you can get total control. That's just not true in relationships. But there are things we can do that will increase our chances of having success in relationships. So even though we don't have total control, there are things we can do that can increase our odds. And that's some of the stuff we're going to be talking about today. Now, category three are problems that we have zero control over. Things like your past. Things like the weather. Maybe the stock market. These are things that you just really don't have any control over. Now, whether it's category one, which are things you have total control over, category two, which are things you have some control over, or category three, things you have zero control over, I think you'll find that there's two words that will profoundly help change how you do things. Let me tell you what I mean. The two words that will help us solve problems in all three categories are these. Change yourself. So like I said, if I need to go to the gym, I can walk myself through that door. If I need to start eating healthy, I can say I'm only going to eat vegetables today I'm going to eat vegetables more than I'm going to eat that junk food. If I'm getting speeding tickets, I can stop speeding. That's category one stuff. Category two, you might say, well, why would I need to change when it's your fault, or it's my spouse's fault, or it's my boss's fault? Why do I need to change? And the answer is, your methods of trying to change the problem haven't worked. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the problem, would you? And so in category two, we can change our approach. And that's what we're going to be talking a lot about in this dad course is what can you do to change your approach with your spouse, with your children, how you are as a dad, so that your ability to influence your children, so your ability to influence your spouse, so your ability to influence anybody will go up. What will make it more likely? Now, you can do everything right, and people can still tell you no because we all have free will. But there are things you can do, things that are research-based, that make it more likely that you'll be able to influence those you love, your children, your spouse for good. And we're going to talk about this today. Now, category three. Category three is there are things that you have zero control over. You have zero control over the weather. You have zero control over your past. I mean, even what I said 5 seconds ago, I can't undo. And so what can you do with category three problems? Well, you can change your attitude. So it's still changing you. So in every single problem you have, whether it's category one, stuff you have 100% control over, category two, stuff you have some control over, category three, stuff you have no control over, the answer is to work on you. Now, this principle, I didn't invent it. I did not invent it. In fact, it's been around just like gravity for a long, long time, thousands of years. In fact, the wisest of all, Jesus Christ, said something like this. He said, cast the mote out of your own eye first. Isn't that interesting? This principle has been around a long time. If you want to be successful, we've got to be able to cast our mote out of our own eye first. Now, other people have said it different ways. For example, Stephen Covey said this. He said, if you work on what you can influence, your influence actually grows. If you work about just what you're concerned about but can influence, your influence actually shrinks. And so if you want to make your influence with other people, you've got to start with you. I didn't invent this principle. It's as real as gravity, and you can align with it, like we talked about in the principle section, or you can ignore it to your peril, but it's real. So I want you to be thinking, what are my problems? What category do they fit into? And then I want you to think, no matter what category they fit into, how can I work on me? Again, problems that are category 1, I can change what I'm doing. Problems that are category 2, which are relationships, I can change my approach. I can change my approach to how I'm a dad or how I show up as a spouse. Category 3 is stuff that I have no control over, like the past or the market or the weather. I can change my attitude. Let me give you one example. Sometimes people get gloomy and they say, it's raining and that's why I'm gloomy. And they think that the rain, something outside of them, is bringing the gloom. But I'm here to tell you, I was lucky enough to have a mom, I talked about earlier in the course, who taught me that rain is actually a fabulous opportunity for fun. In fact, when it would rain, she would say, let's put our rain boots on and go splash in the puddles. She taught me that having a good attitude about some things that other people think are negative was actually a huge opportunity for fun. Let me give you another example, a business example. You know, back in 2008, there was a crash, a market crash, and there was a lot of people who had this attitude of, oh my goodness, the world is falling apart. Run and hide. Let's, from a financial stock perspective, they were saying, sell everything and run and hide. I don't know if any of you experienced that market crash or were involved or remember it. But I'll tell you something, Warren Buffett, he had a different attitude about something even he couldn't control, the market. And when the market crashed, he was saying, oh my goodness, everything's on sale. I can buy pieces of companies, stock and companies for really low prices. And so he went around and bought a ton of things at low prices. He thought it was a great thing. So he had an attitude of gratitude for a market crash. And that's why he has the market's cash to the tune of about 128 billion. You see, your attitude is so, so important. And that's the first principle of this course is no matter what's going on, if we take the attitude that I need to start with me. Now, I want to add one more thought here. Stephen Covey said something really brilliant, really I think is important. He said, anytime you think that the problem is out there. So if I'm thinking to myself, the problem is out there, that very thought itself is the problem. Did you hear that? I want to say it again slowly. Anytime you think that the problem is out there, that thought itself is the problem. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't real problems in the world, but the fact is, if we can say, you know what, I can change my feelings, I can change my emotions, I can change my thinking, I can change my approach, that's going to be so helpful. We're going to talk about that in later sections in this course. But the thing I wanted to talk about right now is all of the problems you have. The answer, change yourself. Change what you're doing, change your approach in your relationships, or change your attitude for things you have zero control over. Thanks for listening today. Keep that in mind as we go through the Dad course. Simon, today I want you to write down some of your biggest problems. And I want you to put them to each one of those 3 categories. I want you to say, is it category 1 where I have total control, category 2 where I have some control, category 3 where I have no control. And then I want you to, on the worksheet today, to figure out some steps that you can take in each one of those categories to make things better. Remember the principle is to change yourself, do the work, you can do this.